can't be the only one who's written a story about a man they've never met falling in love with a rando lady, right? I was also a prepubescent teen when I wrote it, so. Hi, hello. I'm Tiana. Welcome to my channel, the show where everything is made up and I don't matter. So a while back, I promised my Instagram followers, aka my family and friends, that I would make a video of me reading my old fan fiction from back in the day. Sorry it took me so long to do this. I kind of had to get over the mental roadblock telling me not to humiliate myself on the internet, but clearly I'm ready now. I think that we should start with the history of how I got into fan fiction. You know, a little backstory, if you will. It was a long time ago. The first one I ever wrote, I was 13, a great age. No one had ever even glanced at me romantically, I would say. Since I was not receiving the romance that I wanted, I decided to create my own works of love, featuring a man I idolized. Tale as old as time. I originally started out on the now dead website called Quizilla, a weird offshoot of teennick.com, and it wasn't until I stumbled upon fanfiction there that I even knew it existed. It's also where I was introduced to the cattiness of young preteens and teens on the internet without adult supervision. So when Disney Channel told you to get your parents' permission to go online, I should have listened. After losing interest there, I swiftly moved to a website called Meba. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. I was present there from like 14 to 17 years of age. Yikes. Now is the time where I'd like to formally apologize to the man/men I will be taking along this journey with me. The band All Time Low, but most importantly, the lead singer Alex. Not to be dramatic, but I was huge in the All Time Low fanfiction community. At least for like a hot minute. For example, the story we're gonna peruse today has 35,000 views. It's hot garbage, so what does that tell you? I no longer truly support the idea of writing fan fiction about real people. Unpopular opinion time. I think that stems from the fact that when I wrote all of this, all the fan fiction, I was a kid romanticizing adults that I did not know. But, you know, if you still read or write and enjoy real people fics, you do you. Just stating how I currently feel. Apologies to Alex for having ever written about him. Not cool, not cute, not kosher. But remember, this was 10 years ago, okay? I was deep in my scene girl, #ATL, jelly bracelets, I heart boobies, hot topic phase, alright? So it can be forgiven. Hopefully. Okay, well, I guess we should get to the meat and potatoes before y'all get bored if you haven't already, LOL. What we're going to expose today is called Spinning Out of Control. Also, that was a big thing, was to use lyrics from the songs as your title, because who cares about copyright, honestly? Maybe it's my time to stop procrastinating. Don't know what, I growl impatiently, getting to my feet. He gives out a small groan as he plops backwards on my recliner. Jack? I ask, tapping my foot. Could you please tell me what the f is going on? He uncovers his face, giving me a look that told me I wouldn't like what he was about to say. And then he said the 3 words I never thought I would hear. Raven is back. Okay, so the fact that this is written in first person is already kind of annoying because I remember I jump back and forth between their perspectives, you know, Alex and the main gal. Let's just jump into it. You have to start with the prologue. It was February 1st, 2008. Alex's parents were having a party out in their backyard, celebrating my 19th birthday. The gazebo in the backyard had twinkling lights wrapping around the roof. Alex and I were under it, his arms around me as we surveyed the party. I could feel the way his forearms tensed around my torso for a moment. I could feel his mouth touching my neck, and I couldn't help but squeal lightly at the sensation. All right, this is what happens when you give a touch-starved teenager a laptop. Is this my parents' fault? Absolutely not. It's my own. However, you're 19, he murmurs in my ear, lips grazing the skin lightly. I giggle. You're the perfect age, not a young adult, but not fucking old. Oh, God. Take a shot every time I use an adverb. You'll be dead by the end of the first chapter. I'm saying that you and I have been together for 3 years now. I nod. That's a long time. A really long time for people our age. My lips curve into a smile. That is a long time. I told you we could make it. I flick his nose playfully and he scrunches it, chuckling. I'm ready for us to progress. Progress? I cock my head to the side. Why'd you get all serious? Alex just grins as he smoothly slides his arms out from around my waist. And if you're willing to progress as well, I think we can make it even further. I opened my mouth to ask what was going on when he bends down onto one knee. My eyes widen on instinct as I watch his hand go into his pocket. Alex, I trail off as he shushes me. I know that we're really young, he says, and I just noticed the music that had been playing over the backyard just stopped. But I want to do this. There isn't anyone but you, Ray. You're all that I want. All that I need. He props open the little black case and the breath gets stuck in my throat at the sight of the ring. I could feel my hands shake. So, will you marry me? Love that we just in it, you know what I mean? Like no foreplay, no will they, won't they. That comes later. Right now, we're gonna get married. Okay, so she says yes. Let's skip ahead. Because, I mean, this is still the prologue. It's not even that long of a prologue, but I'm skipping. I set the date for 3 months later. Everything was planned, perfectly designed. But throughout the whole 2 months we were planning, I, Raven, felt something was off. I found myself having strange fevers, and a few times I had to get up in the middle of the night to throw up, and I knew it wasn't nerves either. Take bets on what it is. So a couple nights before the wedding, I went to the local CVS, and back at home, I found out for sure. I was sitting in the toilet on the bathroom. I was sitting in the toilet on the bathroom. I gazed back down at the pregnancy test, the little pink plus sign mocking me in a way that set my heart racing 1,000,000 miles a minute. I sat on the news for the next 2 days, always fidgeting, always afraid Alex would bust into our room and start screaming about me being pregnant. I was paranoid. There was no doubt about. That's the end of the sentence. There was no doubt about. Finally, the day before Alex and I were to get married, I knew I couldn't go through with it knowing I had a baby in my stomach. Everything was suddenly so wrong, and I saw it all happen around me with a new perspective. Were Alex and I ready to have a baby? I was only 19 and he was only 20. We'd only been out of high school for about 1.5 years. I'm almost 24 and I purchased a plane ticket to Chicago, and as the wheels of my flight pulled off the ground of Maryland, a piece of me broke away. A piece of myself that I didn't get back for the next 3 years. and knowing I was breaking Alex's heart too, I left. Time jump. My heart pounded as I turned the steering wheel of my car, the sight of my old street coming into view. The swallow gets stuck in my throat as my house comes into sight. I can't do it. Mama! I hear Emma scream from behind me. I glance back at her just as we pull to a halt in front of my parents' home. She was pointing out the window. Look at the kitty! A large feeling of nostalgia weighed me down as I scanned my old childhood street. I forced myself to keep my eyes away from the house 5 doors down as I round the car, pulling open the back seat. Ready to go, Ems? I grin, unbuckling her from her car seat. She nods enthusiastically, her brown eyes shining up at me. I wince coyly. Leave a comment down below if you know how to wince coyly. What's this, Mommy? Emma asks, her hand playing with a chunk of my blonde hair absent-mindedly. Where are we? Home, Emma. This is home. So when I say that I was an amazing writer, this is proof. Very realistic story, in my opinion, because obviously when you find out that you're pregnant and the father is the man you're in love with and you're about to marry them, that's what you do. You think to yourself, no. And you leave, okay? Don't stay in town and marry him and raise a child. Go. Raven, if you will. Ravienne, that's what we should call her, Ravienne, because it's spelled with a Y. So there's a nice little reunion with her mother, Raven and her mother. Emma, I whisper lightly, say hi to Grandma. I named Ravienne's father Harold. Sorry, didn't realize that. Get down here, your daughter is home, and your granddaughter. Fix them some breakfast. She goes back to her car to get her luggage. You find out that the reason she didn't like the house 5 doors down is because that's the house that she was supposed to live in with Alex after they got married, LOL. Who just moves into the house 5 doors down from your parents after you graduate high school and get married? Not me. Well, I do live like a mile from my parents, so you lose some, you know? Just as I had closed and locked my door, shoving the keys back in my pocket, I hear someone on the street behind me. Ravienne? I freeze, expecting the worst. Can I really handle talking to Alex right now? A breath of relief greets me when I see it's just Jack. I haven't seen Jack for 4 years. He's grown up well. Hey, Jack, I smile, but it still felt sterile along my lips. What are you doing here? I bite my bottom lip, looking down at my feet. I came to visit. Jack licks over his lips, nodding. Why do I have such a fascination with people's lips? Like, I constantly, probably because I'd never been kissed. I didn't have my first kiss till I was like 18 years old. So Jack nods slowly. Oh, okay, I should get going. I'm going over to Alex's place. Sure, I murmur. I understand. Murmur? Who murmurs? You know, just murmur. So Raven goes back inside. She listens as her mom asks Emma what she wants to eat, and Emma says, pancakes. Pancakes have always been her favorite food, and today was no exception. I snort when I realize something else. Alex's favorite food is pancakes. Why am I not surprised? Would it be common for her to just have the same favorite breakfast food as her father she's never met? I don't know. I guess so. Because honestly, I made that rule, and that's the rule of the universe. So this universe that I've built, very extensive. So now we're gonna skip to Alex's point of view. You meet a little surprise, okay? Ryan's voice drops away as I feel her lips press against my neck. A grin meets my lips. As I look down at Jasmine, her green eyes sparking up at me, I peck her lips. Oh my god, in one little block of 3 times I use the word lips. 3. So you find out that Alex has a girlfriend now. Ravienne is back in town, and with her and Alex's daughter, who Alex does not know exists. And Alex, completely oblivious to all of this, has a girlfriend named Jasmine. The drama. We reread what I read in the summary earlier. Back, remember? A few minutes ago? Raven is back. And, ooh, cliffhanger. Left it on a chapter 1 cliffhanger. Literally the chapter is just Raven thinking to herself, having thoughts, and putting away their luggage. She hears a knock on the door, on the front door. I hesitate slightly before moving to the front door, pulling it open. As I do so, I mentally punch myself for not looking out the window first to see who it was. Alex, I breathe, my hand dropping from the doorknob. Another cliffhanger, you know, I just had to do it to him. You can't just give it all at once, all right? That's like the 5th rule of fan fiction. First rule, underdeveloped characters. Second rule, cliche plot lines. Third rule, I don't remember the 3rd and 4th rule. Well, the 5th rule is, what was the 5th rule? 5th rule is always end on a cliffhanger, every chapter. The confrontation, okay? The what we're here for, all right? Ravienne and Alex seeing each other for the first time in years. Before we began arguing, I took a moment to appreciate him growing up. His hair was reddish brown, small stubble across his jaw, which had also become quite more defined. His arms had a lankier bulge to them, with the muscles pushing out when his arms crossed across his chest. He had most definitely matured, looking even more gorgeous than 3 years ago. Finally, Alex clears his throat and speaks. So, you're back. Such an easy thing to say, a simple way to break the ice, but even though it was a small phrase, it hit me hard in the heart. So, I'm back. He clears his throat a second time, cocking his head to the side. You grew your hair out. This hit me so hard. I give a dumbfounded nod. Yeah, you always wanted me to. That is straight up something that Richard Burke says to Monica Geller on the show Friends. Finally, foreplay out of the way, Alex asks me the dreaded question. Why did you leave? I swallow to soften my dry throat, trying to find a good lie. When I couldn't stall any longer, I lick over my lips. I had to. I try to sound convincing. I was afraid I would hurt you. He seemed to buy it, his eyes narrowing a tad. You hurt me by leaving, he immediately responds, his voice sour. It would have been easier if you'd stayed. The way he was saying things, it was like he'd been thinking of what to say to me ever since I left. Well, yeah. I was one of those writers who always assumed my audience was dumb. I'm gonna say it. We all know what audience I was writing to. 13-year-olds. So, listen, I've wanted to say some things for years now, he begins, but I interrupt. Why did you write that song about me? Which one, Ray? I've written quite a few songs. Remember the song? The one that goes, I would have married you in Vegas had you given me the chance to say I do? Vegas. From So Wrong It's Right. A bop. After they have a little bit of an argument, Alex gets a phone call. Hello? He asks, his eyes still level with mine. I look away, my top teeth digging painfully into my bottom lip. Oh, hey Jasmine. Yeah, nah, I'm just visiting a friend. I'll be home in a few minutes. Yeah, love you too. I swallow thickly. Bye. Chapter 4 is, I think, the last one we're going to read today. And Chapter 4 is the creme de la creme, okay? Ravienne has just been sitting at home, just contemplating her whole life. Ravienne says, I'm just nothing. I am a speck on his life, the girl who broke his heart by upping and leaving at a moment's notice. I am a bleep that occurs on a copier, that annoying smudge when the ink overpours. Annoying smudge when the ink over... Oh my god. Honestly, I was writing poetry before I even meant to. So Ravienne is gonna watch some TV while Emma goes to bed, and she realizes her purse isn't in the house. And she's like, oh, I must have left it in the car. Slinging it over my shoulder. As I shut the door and relock it, I hear footsteps off to my right. Instinctively, I glance over. My heart stopped and fell to the pits of hell. Alex was walking down the street, his arm wrapped around a girl next to him. She was small and dainty, at least a good 6 inches shorter than him. She was basically huddled next to him like a little girl does with her father. We're gonna move on. She was grinning up at him, the moon hitting her face, washing light over her. She had dark brown hair that hit her lower back, blowing in the light breeze the night was bringing us. Her big doe eyes were brown, practically the same color as the boys next to her. She had a splash of freckles over her nose and cheekbones, which were defined and high on her face. She had a cute little button nose and a winning smile, white and blinding, and she had a natural tan tone to her skin, complementing her hair. This is the funnier part. In contrast, I was the polar opposite. I was fairly tall, about 2 inches shorter than Alex, with a lanky build that I thought suited me. And whenever I stood next to Alex, I was able to look him in the face without craning my neck. I had light blonde hair that hit below my chest, which was longer than it's ever been before. I had small, crinkled blue eyes that Alex used to tell me were as deep as the ocean. I had absolutely no freckles. Absolutely no freckles. None, not one. A huge nose, and cheekbones that didn't have any definition to them. My smile was kind of crooked, and I was so pale, I was considered neon white. Before I could turn around and go back to my house, it was too late. Alex was walking up. He stops dead when he sees me, his eyes widening. I could see his Adam's apple move as he gulps. Fun fact, I have an Adam's apple. You see it? It was obvious the other girl had no idea who I was. Ravienne. At the sound of my name, her expression registered. Her back stiffened. There was another pause before I turned to Alex's girlfriend. Hi! I tried to sound bright and friendly, but I wasn't successful. I'm Ravienne, and you are? She shakes my outstretched hand. I'm Jasmine. I should get going, I tell them, faking a yawn. I'm super tired, jet lag and all. The joke didn't stick. As I turn to go back to the house, both of their eyes follow me as I retreat. I then watch in horror as the front of my house opens, and lo and behold, reveals Emma in her Minnie Mouse pajamas, holding her blankie tightly. My eyes become the size of saucer plates. Mommy, she calls out, her voice small and frail, but echoing nonetheless. Can I have something to drink? And that's where I'm gonna leave it off. Was it the 5th rule of fanfiction that I made it? Do not give away all the goods at once. You gotta keep some for yourself, and you gotta keep some to keep them guessing. I'm extremely successful in the fanfiction community. Don't want you to ever forget. I actually was considered so good at writing that actually one time a person straight up plagiarized me. PSA, don't steal people's work. Plagiarizing's not cool, not kosher, not cute. I think we've all learned a valuable lesson today. 14-year-old Tiana is a great writer. Always keep them guessing, baby. Always bring them back. And not cool, not kosher, not cute. All right, that's our takeaway. Also, if you drink to how many adverbs I have in that story, you'll be dead. So I really don't recommend you do it. But anyway, it's your funeral. Total of 6 people in my life are gonna watch this. I can count them on my hand right now, and one of them is my mom. Hi Mom, love you a lot. Keep it real, keep it sexy. Anyway, this has been me. Bye.
You were on my subconscious, still trying to get in the mix. Heard you're tired of all those liars. I think I got the